Hi, welcome to the online graduate certificate programs information session brought to you by Texas A&M University and the Bush School of Government and Public Service. We're glad that each of you is here. If you have questions throughout the presentation, please put those in the chat and we're happy to answer those questions. Also, after the presentation, if you think of any other questions that you have about our online graduate certificate programs, please reach out to our advising center, and you can reach the advising center toll free at 1-866-988-2874. You can also reach us via email at bushschoolonline@tamu.edu. My name is Dr. Lisa Brown, and I'm the Director of the Office of Extended Education here at the Bush School of Government and Public Service. And what the Office of Extended Education does is we support the online graduate certificate programs, everything from admissions, advising, recruitment, to even reaching out to students to help them be successful, let them know of resources available to them. So we want you to consider us your support. So come to us with your questions. If you have any issues or challenges in the program, we will find out the answers and do our best to help you out and serve as an advocate so you can successfully complete your graduate certificate program. So in our office, we have lots of amazing staff who are here to support you. And I'd like to introduce some of our staff. So first, I'd like to introduce our program coordinator of student services, Ms. Sarah Rivera. Sarah, can you say hello?
Howdy, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
I'd also like to introduce to you Josh, who's our academic advisor too. And he works in our advising center, and he's also here to support and answer your questions and help you out through this journey. Josh, can you say hello?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining.
So what you'll find in our graduate certificate programs is that you do have a staff who's here to answer your questions. Our advising center is open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 p.m. Central Time. And we work in order to help you be successful in your graduate certificate programs. We also have some amazing alumni joining us today, and we're really excited to introduce them to you. And so what I'm going to ask is each alumni to tell you a little bit about their experience in the online graduate certificate program or the graduate certificate program, and also to tell you what benefits they derive from the graduate certificate program. The first person who I'm going to ask to speak and I'll introduce is Laura Gardia Williams, and she is a class of 22 alumni from the Graduate Certificate in Public Management. She's also a logistics program manager for the city of El Paso, and she's currently pursuing the Executive Master of Public Service and Administration program here at Texas A&M University. So without further ado, I'll ask Laura to speak and tell us about her experience.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Laura, and I do work for the City of El Paso's Fire Department. I am in charge of logistics, and some of my duties include managing all of the supplies for the fire department, handling personnel, managing their tasks, working on budgeting, working on grants, the general finance for the fire department for our division. And so I decided to apply for the certificate program because my son is a 2018 graduate of TAMU, and I saw the quality of education that he received when he was a student there. And I was excited to learn more about the inner workings of public management. When I enrolled in my classes, I considered the different options for the electives that were available. and I chose emergency management and grants management, both of which tie into my job. And I found a huge benefit from the information that I was presented in class, the discussions that we had. I was able to immediately use the knowledge here in my day-to-day activities. I also was able to apply personnel management information and viewpoints that we learned in class to manage my teams here at work. I did find Dr. Nakamura to be a really professional and knowledgeable professor, and I learned quite a bit from him. Dr. Graham was the one who led us in the grants management, and he provided more of a background of how grants work, the process from start to finish, so that when I work on grants here, I understand all of the details involved. For the emergency management class, I learned all of the different phases of emergency management, and I see how they apply here at work as far as our responses to fires and emergencies and hazards that happen on a day-to-day basis. And I'm forgetting a class, I'm sorry. Well, basically, everything that I learned in the 4 classes helped me here at work. And I also enjoyed working with other students in the classroom setting. Even though it's online, it was a cohesive group. And as long as you put in the effort to really read the assignments, participate in the online discussions, you can gain a lot, not just from the information that you're presented in the literature, but from other students because they bring in different viewpoints, different experience than what you may have. And it's a learning and a growth experience overall for a student.
Thank you so much, Laura. I really appreciate your thoughts and sharing your experiences. If anyone has any questions for Laura, I'd ask that you please type those questions into chat. So again, if you have any questions for Laura, go ahead and type those into the chat box. So look for the button that says chat on your screen. Okay, and again, thank you, Laura. We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to visit with us.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And while we'll give the prospects a couple of minutes in case if they do have questions, but in the interim, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Shelby Goodrum, and she is a class of 2022 graduate certificate and nonprofit management alumna. And she is also a program manager for Indiana University School of Philanthropy. So Shelby, we're so thrilled to have you here today. And I would ask, could you please talk about your experience in the graduate certificate and nonprofit management program, and also what benefits you've derived from the program? Thanks. Oh, Shelby, you're still muted.
Pardon me. Howdy, everyone. How are you today? My apologies. Thank you, Lisa. I found the program to be terrific. From the very start, where I worked closely with Sarah, who you just met, she said hello in the very beginning. And Sarah really helped me strategize how to go through the program and given the timing. So I think there's a lot of, when Lisa talked about the hands-on support, it's absolutely there. But then when I got in the program, I learned so much, and I felt like it was a great use of time. And I think to the earlier point, the effort you put in matters, right? So make the most of each discussion question and the interaction you have with the students. And in particular, Dr. Brian Nakamura for program evaluation has been instrumental in both my professional life and my volunteer life. I do a lot of work with Austin Community Foundation and the Women's Fund, and he's been marvelous. And Dr. Angela Seaworth, who provides just a really deep and lovely overview of the nonprofit sector. So you walk out of the program understanding, I would say, best practices and having a solid foundation in the nonprofit sector. And then it will help you take what you already do and put it into context. So whether that's you're doing fundraising, program evaluation, management, you can apply your learning and it puts it into context, which I have found so helpful. Candidly, it also increases your credibility. I had, I don't know if I should say this here, but I had a dean of the School of Social Work from UT tell me I should go to A&M because they're funding nonprofit, the study of nonprofit management. So when I was sent across the street, I mean, I live in Austin, right? I could have gone to UT, but the faculty is absolutely terrific. And it's a great addition to your resume. So I have taken what I've learned at A&M, and I now work as a program manager at Lilly School of Philanthropy. We have 100 custom partners, and I work with one of them. So I'm now working with Pepsi Cola. Their foundation is in the middle of a $571 million equity journey. And so I designed the grant rubric for the Black Changemakers program and have gone through the grants review process. We've awarded $400,000 thus far. They'll get 16 Black nonprofit leaders will get $800,000. Sorry, they'll get $50,000 each in 2 installments and a year's worth of leadership training and support and one-on-one fundraising coaching. And so I am deep in the weeds with this program, both at a high level in terms of designing the rubric and designing the outcome, the program evaluation, right? So that's Dr. Nakamura. I am also deep in the weeds with just running a program. And so I think the greatest gift was coming to A&M because it provides a foundation, but it's also a little bit like the glue that ties all the things you do together. So good use of time, good use of money. That's all I have.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shelby. And we did have a question, and I'll leave it to either Laura or Shelby. Either one of you can answer that. This next question. Did you complete the program while you were working? And also, were you able to manage that without issues?
Laura, you want to go first? Okay. I started during COVID, and so I was not working full-time, but I part-time. But again, it's doable, right? I didn't take more than one. A lot of my peers took more than one class at one time. That wasn't something that felt right for me. But you can manage it. Also, as I recall, Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a little bit due every single day. I think the one day that you off is Sunday. So if you kind of parcel out the work and you take your reading and you just like you project manage anything, right? You just kind of do it in chunks.
Yeah, that's correct. So in that you will have due dates and assignments, and they're due every couple of days. And so what I always recommend to students is when you get that syllabus, put all those due dates on your calendar so that you'll know exactly when things are due and you can plan it. And the syllabus is pretty detailed and in depth. So using the syllabus, you can Google the readings or read ahead. And we often have students who may know, oh, there's a busy week coming up, so I'm going to go ahead and read in advance and go ahead and draft my answer to the threaded discussion so that when the week comes, I'll be ready to post. Now we do for our courses, we post, so the weeks online will release at a certain date and time. So everyone's at the same place in the threaded discussion. And so they're at the same place in the learning. However, you can work in advance because we give you the full complete syllabus that has all the readings. But definitely you have to manage and schedule your time, and it does take time and attention. So you need to look and think, okay, where do I have time to work on my graduate studies? Is that going to be lunch, before work, after work, in the evenings? So plan out that time in your schedule, and it varies on how long it takes the student to complete the course. And it really depends on experience, a whole lot of factors, your retention levels, your reading speed. But I tell students for every graduate course, it's good to plan 10 to 15 hours. And of course, that time varies from person to person. I wanted to ask if Laura's still on. Laura, did you have any feedback on managing, if you were employed while you were pursuing your graduate certificate? How did you manage that work-life balance? Or if you had even volunteer activities, how do you manage that?
I do work full-time. And what I would do is I would use my lunch hour to read some of the required reading assignments and get home from school, do the few chores that I had on a daily basis. And then I would log into class and work for about 2 to 3 hours a night and about 3 or 4 hours on the weekends. It does require understanding from your family's point of view because you do have to devote a significant amount of time for studying and for research and for replying to the discussion questions. It's a sacrifice, but it's manageable. I was able to go through the certificate program without having a mental breakdown. You just have to be wise about your time, and you have to make sure that you're committed to completing all the tasks that you need to complete.
Absolutely. That's great advice, Laura. And the other thing I recommend is that you got to work, if it works best if you work each day on your assignment so you don't get behind. What you don't want to do is get behind because it's challenging to catch up. And certainly if you start getting behind, you get sick or something like that, be sure to tell your instructor as soon as possible. Absolutely. So they know and they're aware of what's happening. So communication is key in an online course. If something happens and you're sick, just connect with your faculty. Hey, I've been sick. What's the penalty for a late assignment? Or if you have a valid sick excuse, of course, they'll give you the appropriate time to make it up. But the best thing that you can do is just keep up with those studies and communicate with your faculty. Let's see.
If yes. I may, I totally agree that communication is key. Things happen and life happens, and the professors are more than willing to work with you. There is a lot of teamwork involved in our classes, and if you advise your team that you have something happening and you're not able to participate with them or submit your assigned tasks to the team on time, it's really appreciated by the rest of the team members. That way people are not assuming that you're just dropping off and you don't care. As long as you keep everyone advised of any problems, there's a workaround that people are willing to help you with.
Absolutely. It's we're all adults, right? And so I think you just say, I had a situation where my dad fell and he ended up in the hospital, and I was like, I've got it. And it was fine. It was fine, because if you set the track record of being a conscientious student and doing your homework on time, when something does come up, it's not a problem. It's life.
Very true. Great advice. And then we also had questions if our graduate certificate courses are only offered online. So our graduate certificate courses are offered online, but we also have some on-campus residential graduate certificate courses as well. So sometimes we may have students who even mix formats. So they may take online graduate certificate courses one semester, and then they may choose to take the course on ground the next semester. So great questions, everyone. I'll do one last call. If you have a question for Laura or Shelby, please go ahead and put it into the chat. Last call for any questions for Laura or Shelby. All right, well, it appears that all of the questions have been answered. Again, I want to thank our alumni, Laura and Shelby, for joining us. We really appreciate sharing your thoughts and your guidance and expertise. So you're more than welcome to stay online, or I know you may have other commitments. You're also welcome to head out if you need to do so. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the presentation. But again, thank you, Laura and Shelby.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, so that was two of our amazing alumni. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and proceed with the core of the presentation. If you have questions for the advisors, feel free to put those in chat. And we're going to talk about Texas A&M University and the Bush School of Government and Public Service. We'll cover the benefits of the graduate certificate programs, the curriculum of our graduate certificates, and then we'll get into application processes, cost, funding options, and we'll stick around for any questions that you may have. First of all, the graduate certificates are offered 100% online. We also have courses residentially. And then by mixed formats, I mean, you can take an online course or residential courses or a mixture of online and residential courses. Our graduate certificates are Advanced International Affairs, and that's 4 courses. Nonprofit Management is 4 courses. Homeland Security is 5 courses. And public management is 4 courses. And then we also have a graduate certificate in geospatial intelligence, which is 5 courses. Now, please keep in mind, these are intense and rigorous graduate courses. They appear on your Texas A&M University transcript, and you can potentially transfer them into other master's programs here at Texas A&M and at other universities as well. A little bit about Texas A&M University. We are a very large Tier 1 research university. We're the first public university in Texas and one of only 2 flagships universities in Texas. We're one of only a few universities that are designated a land grant, sea grant, and space grant university. And we're also a member of the very prestigious Association of American Universities, and we've been a member since 2001. We have among the nation's 5 largest universities, and our enrollment is 74,829 students, and that was in fall 2022. Texas A&M University has various recognitions and rankings. And we'll send you this link to A&M's recognition and rankings. But for example, Washington Monthly in 2021 ranked us 21st in the nation and 11th among public universities. and overall rank 8th in the nation. And also U.S. News and World Report 2022 edition ranked us 7th in the nation in the best value schools among AAU University. And those are just a few of our rankings. So the Bush School of Government and Public Service, we're comprised of 3 departments: Public Service and Administration, International Affairs, and Political Science. We also have 3 institutes, research institutes that conduct research. They also give seminars as well. And then we have 3 centers and 5 special programs. So the vision for the Bush School of Government and Public Service is to inspire excellence in the noble calling of public service. So we're a nonpartisan school, but the belief that public service is a noble calling, and our namesake, the 41st President, George H.W. Bush, really that commitment to public service and helping others pervades the school, and it's also pervasive in our courses as well. So the belief that helping others, serving the public is a noble calling. Also, it shapes all aspects of our curriculum, research, and student experience. Our Bush School mission is to educate others, to explore knowledge building, and to engage with our communities, nations, and the world through a lifelong commitment to public service. George H.W. Bush, 41st President of the United States, said, "Public service is a noble calling, and we need men and women of character to believe in their communities, in their states, and their country." So in addition to our mission and our vision and our commitment to public service, the Bush School also has rankings as well. So from U.S. News and World Report 2023, we were 13th of public universities for public affairs. Also, we were ranked in the top 9% of graduate public affairs schools. By Value Colleges 2020, we were ranked first in the nation for best value for executive online Master of Public Service Administration programs. Texas A&M is accredited by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, and also Public Service and Administration. Our master's programs are accredited by the Network of Schools of Public Policy, Affairs, and Administration, or otherwise known as NASPA, and that's the global standard in public service education. So now turning to benefits. So you've seen Texas A&M University and the Bush School is a highly regarded university and school, but what are the benefits to earning your graduate certificate? Certainly there's potential career advancement. It's a way to really add to and build your resume. And the graduate certificates are standalone credentials in that at the completion of your successfully completing the graduate certificate with a 3.0 and above, you will receive a graduate certificate, and the notation will be placed on your Texas A&M University transcript that you earn the graduate certificate credential. It's transcript recognized. But some of the other benefits is just the knowledge and the expertise you will build. As our alumni shared with you, they learned a lot that they could bring back to their positions, and everything from grant writing to personnel management that they can immediately apply to their work. In addition, through the graduate certificate program, you'll get a refresh on your research skills. How do you explore other nonprofits? Where do you find that information? How do you acquire information so you can build a really solid emergency management plan? Those are just a couple of examples from the various graduate certificates. In addition, you'll gain analytical expertise. You'll really, through the threaded discussion board, you'll sharpen your skills in that analysis and digging deeper and asking more questions to find the answers to various problems and issues in the requisite certificates. You'll also refine your writing skills. So our online courses utilize a lot of threaded discussion boards. So in that, the instructor will pose a question, you'll research it, find the answer, and then you'll post a well thought out, well-written answer to that question. And then your peers and the faculty member will discuss that topic with you. So with that, you will really refine your writing skills. Also, one of the benefits of the graduate certificate, you'll be a part of the Aggie network. And once you complete your graduate certificate, you can join our alumni groups on LinkedIn. And so wherever you can, just building that Texas A&M University network as well as that Bush School network can help you pursue leads and jobs and careers, and even just leads in solving the issues and challenges that you experience at work. So it's a wonderful network. I often tell students, you'll get out of it what you put in. So utilize that network, ask questions, let your colleagues and faculty know when there's a certain career position that you're aiming for so they can help connect you with resources. Some of the other benefits of the graduate certificate, when you successfully complete, we issue you a digital credential. So the digital credential you can display on your LinkedIn, on your email, and it links to information about your credential, but it's just one more way that you can show the expertise that you've gained in the graduate certificate program. The digital credentialing also links to various job openings that you can search as well. One of the greatest benefits, I think, is just networking with your other colleagues in the field, as well as your peers, and networking with faculty. Our graduate certificate, when you complete, we have an in-person completion ceremony here in College Station, Texas. You're not required to attend, but we do invite our completers, and it's a chance, an opportunity to visit with faculty, hear the dean speak, and walk across the stage to actually earn your certificate as well. In addition, throughout your education, we'll invite you to various online and even some in-person special events that you can take advantage of here at the Bush School of Government and Public Service. So there's some really great opportunities and resources as being a part of Texas A&M University and also a part of the Bush School. Some additional benefits is the rigor of the program. It makes it even more well respected, and you'll learn so much more. You'll gain new ideas. Your peers and your faculty will challenge your thinking and really ask you to explain and reason out, why the course of action you're suggesting is the right course of action. You will learn how to pull research-based information to back up the solutions that you propose. And one of the best things about our Bush School courses is we have a great balance of practitioners, individuals who've been city managers, who've been emergency managers, who've worked in international affairs as research analysts. So we have the practitioner side, but all of our practitioners also have the requisite academic credentials. So they can, in addition to that, be able to share with you the theory as well as the applied application. As a part of Texas A&M University, we have a lot of outstanding services. We have 24-hour a day, 7-day a week technical support through our IT help desk, but we also have Canvas support. Canvas is our learning management system where we deliver the online courses. So if you have a question anytime, day or night, even on Canvas, you can call the support line and receive assistance. We have a phenomenal library services. They have online chat. They have a service where if there's an article you can't get, you can request that they get it for you, and then they scan it and provide it for you electronically. That's the Get It For Me services. And we have a lot of just amazing, hefty research databases that we have access to as a large research university. We, we also have Texas A&M University Career Services that you can utilize. There are resume review services that you can get a proof on your resume or your CV. And of course, our Office of Extended Education Advising and Recruitment and Enrollment Center. We're here to help you as well and to facilitate you through the admissions process and through the learning process to help. We have a Texas A&M University Writing Center that you can utilize for your papers. Just it's a best practice to ask your faculty member first to make sure they don't mind if you utilize the Writing Center for a review, but they'll give you some feedback on your paper and how you can improve it and what you can do better in your writing. We have financial aid services, and as well as we have veteran service support too. Our online courses are very interactive courses. So our interactivity comes through the threaded discussion boards, where you will discuss with your colleagues and peers during the week a certain topic. We also utilize online lectures. So each week you'll have an online lecture that you will view from the subject matter expert. And like any other course, you'll have textbooks and deadlines to complete as well. And there are deadlines every week. However, the flexibility comes in that you can work on your course anytime, day or night. There's no official class meeting time. So there's not a time of day where you have to drop everything and go to your course. Unless, of course, you're registered for an on-campus course, then you would have that class meeting time that you have to go to. But our 100% online courses, there's no real-time meeting time. Our graduate certificate courses are also taught by the experts in the field who possess the requisite academic credentials. Our graduate certificate completion ceremony, here's an example pictures of one of our past ceremonies, and the dean is pictured here, as well as our graduate certificate directors. But if you are in the area and can attend the graduate certificate completion ceremony when you do earn your certificate, highly recommend it. It's just a wonderful special time to be recognized for your achievement of earning your graduate certificate. And it's also a chance to network with the faculty, staff, and your colleagues as well. Now I'm going to drill down into the curriculum of each certificate quickly. So the first certificate I'm going to cover is the Graduate Certificate in Advanced International Affairs. This picture here is the director of the Graduate Certificate in Advanced International Affairs, Professor Ron Sievert. And Professor Sievert says the Graduate Certificate in Advanced International Affairs is an outstanding addition to the resume of anyone interested in a career in international relations, intelligence, defense policy, military affairs, counterterrorism, diplomacy, international organizations, law enforcement, international business, or international economic development. The curriculum for the Graduate Certificate in International Affairs, or CAIA, is 4 graduate courses, and a sample listing of some of our courses is transnational security issues, technical collections, role of intelligence, law of war, and political violence and terrorism. With the CAIA, you can target your goals through an emphasis area. So an emphasis area is just a grouping of courses that you can really zero in on the topic that you want to pursue in that graduate certificate. So for example, you can zero in on counterterrorism, diplomacy, defense policy, and military affairs and intelligence. And I wanted to share with you a couple of testimonials. So a CAIA alumnus, Trevin Hazel, said, after working in the security and protection field, I wanted to develop a solid academic foundation for my future career. The certificate in Advanced International Affairs offered graduate level opportunities that were directly applicable to the daily security challenges experienced by protection professionals. The optional emphasis enabled me to bring a specific skill set back to the workforce, and the instructors, also practitioners in their field, have proven an excellent resource for professional development and support even after I completed my certificate. The topics covered in each course as directly applicable to today's policy and security issues, and the foundation I received from the program prepared me to speak intelligently on a wide array of security and protections issues facing the United States today. Also, alumnus Shelby Lepley, she said the certificate in advanced international affairs was the best preparation that I had for law school. The program taught me the skills to objectively evaluate past and current foreign policy. These skills have prepared me to be more involved as an active citizen today and in the policy-making process in my future career. And then one last one, CAIA alumni, Mackenzie Moosey. After I graduated from Texas A&M, I knew I wanted to continue my studies. Mackenzie says, following the completion of my certificate in advanced international affairs, I began working as a federal contractor in Dallas, Texas, and am a full-time student of Robertson School of Government at Regent University. Okay, so that was a little bit about advanced international affairs. The next certificate I want to cover is Homeland Security. And pictured here, we have the director of the graduate certificate in Homeland Security, Dr. Danny Davis. And from the National Strategy for Homeland Security, Dr. Davis defines Homeland Security as a concerted national effort to prevent terrorist acts within the United States, reduce America's vulnerabilities to terrorism, and minimize damage and recover from attacks that do occur. So this mission also includes preparedness, response, and mitigation to national disasters. So in the CHLS program, Homeland Security program, you'll learn the relationship between local, state, and federal jurisdictions in defending the homeland. You'll learn the difference between Homeland Defense and Homeland Security. You'll also learn about the laws, policies, and regulations defining Homeland Security. You'll be able to identify and quantify the threats to the homeland. You'll be able to identify and study local, state, and federal agencies responsible for Homeland Security. You'll also learn about how to protect the 16 critical infrastructure sectors. We have some courses on border security as well as maritime security. And then you'll also gain insights from experts in the field and other students as well. Our CHLS course curriculum requires that you take fundamentals of Homeland Security, and then you'll have the opportunity to select from a variety of electives from border security, business continuity, maritime security, emergency management, and terrorism in today's world. We do have emphasis areas in Homeland Security as well, where you can target and zero in on the specific education that you want to pursue. So we have emphasis areas in border security, critical infrastructure protection, emergency management and crisis preparedness, as well as national security policy and management. Okay, so that was the curriculum of Homeland Security. Next, graduate certificate in nonprofit management. And the certificate in nonprofit management's goal is to develop leaders for the nonprofit management sector. It contributes to understanding nonprofit organizations and their role in society, and supports the practice of effective management of nonprofits. Pictured here is the director of the Graduate Certificate in Nonprofit Management, Dr. Will Brown. And other things that you'll learn about include social sector organization, the role of nonprofits in society, and you'll learn how to manage and lead nonprofits, including strategy, human resources, fiscal management, boards, fundraisings. So there's a very in-depth and a lot of great curriculum on the nonprofit sector. The CMPM, or the Nonprofit Management Graduate Certificate, requires 4 courses: Foundations of the Nonprofit Sector and Management and Leadership of Nonprofit are your 2 required courses. And then you select 2 courses from areas such as fundraising and philanthropy, fiscal and performance management, leadership and management, health and human service policy, and international non-governmental organizations. And next, I want to cover the Public Management Graduate Certificate. Now, Public Management Graduate Certificate program focuses on the capabilities required for effective and ethical leadership in the public and nonprofit sectors. This includes the knowledge and skills pertaining to the internal operation of public service organizations and to the relationships between those organizations and their environments. So the director of this graduate certificate in public management is Dr. Robert Greer. And the curriculum requires that you would take 2 courses of budgeting in public service and public management. Then you'd select 2 electives. So you can select from electives such as tools for advancement in leadership, managing workplace diversity, program evaluation, grant and project management, and management and leadership of nonprofit sectors are just a few of the courses we offer. We also offer state and local government as well. The next graduate certificate, and the final one, whose curriculum I will cover, is the Graduate Certificate in Geospatial Intelligence. The Graduate Certificate in Geospatial Intelligence is a unique partnership between the College of Geosciences and the Bush School of Government and Public Service. So it's actually more of an interdisciplinary certificate. With that certificate, you will complete 5 graduate courses. So you may ask, what is geospatial intelligence? Well, it's a rapidly emerging field that leverages human intelligence and geospatial technologies in the support of national security and other intelligence activities. And again, it's 5 courses or 15 credit hours. And the program develops the technical skill set and knowledge of intelligence processes and critical thinking in order to help students meet the goal of being able to leverage that human intelligence and geospatial technologies. The certificate's designed to meet the growing demands for individuals in that field. It requires 3 courses: remote sensing for geographical analysis, applications in GIS, and then there's a capstone, or basically a applied research experience. You will also select from 2 of the following courses: either Role of Intelligence, Technical Collection Systems for International Security, Terrorism in Today's World, and Analytic Tradecraft. And if you're interested in this graduate certificate, the process is a little different because this certificate is managed by the Department of Geography, and you can reach out to online-degree@geos.tamu.edu. We also will send you this presentation with a link to the online application. The deadline on this certificate is May 1st for summer 2023 entry, August 1st for our fall 2023 entry, and applications are processed by Geosciences. And again, Geosciences is the main contact on that specific graduate certificate. So just summing up, remember the potential outcomes of the graduate certificate: potentially advancing your career, transition to a new career. If you're already in international affairs or Homeland Security, this can really provide that background, and it's a transcript recognized credential that stand alone, so you can demonstrate the knowledge you've gained. And that's the same for nonprofit. So nonprofit, Homeland Security, public management, these graduate certificates are a great way to demonstrate that you do have that knowledge, as well as you can enhance your analytical expertise. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and go to what is the cost for the online graduate certificate. So online graduate course estimated cost for 2022-2023, if you're a Texas resident, Living in state, it's approximately $27.03 a course. And we are required by Texas law to charge one rate for a Texas resident and one rate for a non-resident living out of state. If you're a non-resident living out of state, it's approximately $43.82 a course. And keep in mind, if you're an international student, there are some additional costs. Students who are new to graduate studies have a new graduate student fee of $50. And distance education students in Brazos County and in 7 surrounding counties are charged $320 a semester. And that's so they can use the Student Recreation Center. It gives them access to the health center and a lot of other good benefits. International students also have a service fee of $46 a semester, and there's a fee for third-party sponsored international students. That this slide is important to keep in mind as far as costs, which leads us to, how can I fund my graduate certificate? So certainly the first thing that we often recommend students do is complete the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. Even though you work full-time or you may work part-time, you still may be eligible, because when financial aid is looking at awards, they also look at what's the cost of the program as well as what is the money coming in. So you never know till you apply. So I encourage you to complete the FAFSA. I also encourage students to complete the FAFSA because we have a Texas resident Bush School online student scholarship. So if that FAFSA shows need and you apply for the Bush School online student scholarship, you can receive a scholarship award. And our students have been very successful in receiving awards through the FAFSA as well as the Bush School online student scholarship. The FAFSA also determines your eligibility for school loans if you need to pursue that route of the low interest loans. We also have a Texas Aggie grant for Texas residents. And again, that is based on need and it's for Texas residents. But the beauty of scholarships and grants is that is funding that you don't have to pay back. So highly recommend you at least try for those. Of course, keep in mind the loans you will need to pay back. Another great opportunity is if you're active duty or you're a veteran. Texas A&M may have programs that you can apply to for funding as being active duty. There's a GI Bill, there's Hazelwood, we accept Hazelwood. So if you're a veteran, connect with Aggie One Stop. And we also have a link right here to Veterans Services information page, and that can give you some funding opportunity as well. In addition to that, I would recommend that you seek out professional organizations. So look at what organizations you're a member of. Look at your employer, see if they have tuition reimbursement programs, if they have scholarship programs. A lot of professional organizations do have scholarship programs. So check those opportunities and options as well. We'll also send you some information about the Texas A&M scholarships and waivers websites. So I highly recommend look at that website and see if there's any scholarships you may be eligible for as well. Moving to the application. So for our Advanced International Affairs, Homeland Security, Nonprofit Management and Public Management, the application deadline is May 14th for summer 2023 entry. For fall 2023 entry, the application deadline is August 13th. We have details on our admissions webpage, so bush.tamu.edu/certificate/admissions. And remember the geospatial intelligence for summer 2023, that deadline is different because it's a part of another, it's a shared graduate certificate with the Bush School. And let me go back, and for summer 2023, kind of going back to that geospatial intelligence, the deadline for geospatial intelligence is May 1st, 2023 for summer 2023. So keep that in mind. Okay, so the graduate certificate application requirements for CMPM, CHLS, and PBMG, so nonprofit management, Homeland Security, and public management, there is no GRE or GMAT required. For the graduate certificate in advanced international affairs, there's no GRE or GMAT if you scored a GPA of 3.0 or higher in your bachelor's. So keep that in mind. Also, to apply to the graduate certificate, you should have already earned your bachelor's degree from an accredited university. The process is that you'll complete what's called a GradCAS application. And this is if you're not already a Texas A&M University student. So you'll complete the GradCAS application. The fee is $89 for US applicants, $114 for international. You'll also complete an essay indicating why you want to pursue your graduate certificate, what your goals are. You'll also send Texas A&M University your official transcripts, and you'll send us your resume as well. Now, if you are in a current Texas A&M University student at a Texas A&M College Station, rather than GradCAS, you'll complete what's called an internal application. And that link is on our admissions website. So if you're a current Texas A&M University student, you'll complete the internal application. Since you're already a student, there's no fee for that internal application. And the Graduate Certificate of Geospatial Intelligence admissions is slightly different. They have different deadlines. So again, as I mentioned before, summer 23 deadline is May 1st, 2023. And for that program, the required application materials are statement of purpose, your CV or resume, TOEFL or IELTS scores if you're an international applicant, and then your undergraduate and, if applicable, graduate transcripts as well. And if you're already a student here at Texas A&M University, what you'll do to apply to that program is talk to your primary advisor, and then you'll talk to Sarah Bailey over at Geosciences and about applying to the program. So you'll work it through your primary advisor and Geosciences. All right, so with that, I'm going to stop the recording. Thank you for joining us for this information session. And let's see.